everyone, welcome back to The Shelves Have Eyes. I'm Phantom, and today we'll be continuing our journey through the Miniverse. Make It Mini Potions, Harry Potter collection. Let's see what's in this capsule. Potions and ingredients, let's see. Oh look, Hogwarts. No. Oh look, no label. Some kind of vegetation. Okay, we got another large potion bottle with a cork. Alright, we got tongs. And a little ladle. Maybe first, I will not. Flesh-Eating Slug Repellent. That's what we'll be making today. Alright, that looks interesting. It's Series A because they still have not filled in the rare, ultra rare, and limited edition cauldron with our resin. That's same across the board. Our odd little workman's case. I don't know why we need a toolbox. Unless, like Draco Malfoy, we are a toolbox. A little funnel. A little twine. And a label for our Flesh-Eating Slug Repellent. Alright, let's do this. Okay, so looking at this, the instructions are exceedingly simple. You just pour some of the thorny bits in, stir it around, put some of the fluff in, stir it around, pour it in the bottle, label the bottle, and you're done. So let's make this thing. Alright, so as always, we will decant this resin into our little resin stirring cup so that you wonderful people can see what's going on. Oh, what a delightful chartreuse color. Okay, so we have been given these two little ingredients. One of which I would assume this is the thorny thing in the instructions, because these do seem to have little sharp points to them. And this just looks to be hair or weed of some sort. Not really quite sure what this is supposed to be, but they do suggest using tongs to pry it out, but that's the second step. But first, let's break the seal, the Hogwarts seal, on these little sharp jobbies and get them into our resin. They just appear to be little plastic leaves and seed pods that appear to be open. They're not just sprue, they are supposed to be something. What? I don't know, but we'll find out. Alright, so we'll just mix all these around a little bit. Now, like many of the sets for this first round of Miniverse Potions, there's not much to say about Flesh-Eating Slug Repellent. It has an immediate, I remember that quality that Miniverse was probably looking for. This potion's real claim to fame is just the fact that Hagrid keeps talking about it and keeps bringing it up, and it appears a couple of times in Chamber of Secrets. It first appears when Hagrid rescues Harry from Knockturn Alley, from the hags in Knockturn Alley after he leaves Borgin and Burke's, and he just is carrying it. He says that he went down to Knockturn Alley to get Flesh-Eating Slug Repellent because flesh-eating slugs were apparently having a feast on Hogwarts cabbage supplies. In the books, I don't think it's mentioned whether he's actually carrying it there or not. We don't know whether he finished his task before he rescued Harry or not. In the film, he's carrying it in his hand. It's just a big jug, an acid green jug with a slug on it and a big Prohibido. And then later on in the film, when they are discussing whether Hagrid could be the heir of Slytherin, he just appears behind the golden trio in the courtyard, once again carrying a big jug of it. It appears twice in the movie. It's only mentioned once, I believe, in the book, and that's it. It never appears again, because why would it need to appear again? It would never need to appear again. In ancillary media, it's mentioned a couple of times, probably for the same reason why Miniverse decided to use it as a potion for this set, in that it has an immediate recognition factor, even though it has absolutely no plot purpose or narrative drive, or it's not a MacGuffin, let's just say. Oh, this is just a big ball of yarn, of thread. Okay, I'll just use my hands to do this because this is just nylon thread. Okay. So you got a good handful of that. I don't know how Miniverse expected you to be able to separate any of this with tongs, but there you go. It's just nylon or lycra thread, like you would pull out of an errant stitch in your clothing, if you happen to be wearing sap green clothing. So we're just going to pour this in, or drop it in rather, and much like the polyjuice potion, it's going to add some kind of texture. Let's just see how well that works. So let's just kind of agitate these contents here a little bit. This might have been a little too much of that thread. I don't really know. I don't know how they expect you to be able to pour that through a funnel. It really has made the entire thing extraordinarily thick. But we're gonna try. See, and we're gonna try. It does look very interesting. It does look like something poisonous. I mean, this is a pesticide. This is a pesticide, so I mean, it should look dangerous. The pail for Flesh-Eating Slug Repellent definitely does look dangerous in the films. They kind of missed an opportunity to just give you the little jug, the metal jug that Hagrid is holding in the movies. Instead, we get this little faux-etched glass Hogwarts vial. And it even has Hogwarts written on the neck of the bottle there. I have no idea why Hogwarts would have branded vessels for potions. Let's get this, see if we can get this jammed into the bottle, and then I'll try to agitate these little thorny bits and see if we can distribute them a little better. Oh, this is a bad idea. This is a bad idea. Nope. That's not, this is a bad idea all around. Oh, okay. Get in there. Get in there. Oh my God, why aren't you getting in there? Alright, so we're going to use this knife to try to get the other knife out. Oh, this is really not working very well. Okay. Let's just try to kind of stomp this down like a reporter trying to get grape juice into a column. Oh, come on. Are you still stuck on? Okay. Yes, it appears that the threads got stuck on the irregular wooden grain of the toothpick, so it just was not letting go. So now that enormous hairball is down the drain, let's see if we can get the rest of this into the vessel. Oh, my God. Well, unlike the last potion I made, the armadillo bile, doesn't seem like they've given you enough resin to fill this vessel. I'm just going to try to get whatever little dregs I can out of the container. Yeah, this is a really messy one. My hands are covered in, well, my fingers are covered in resin. I think that's all that I can get out of this container. Let's just see if we can't get anything more out of the cauldron. No, I think that's really it. Wipes. Now that we've got this all into the bottle, the amount of resin doesn't really fill the bottle. I'm wondering if maybe they want you to use all of that fiber, all of those threads, because I feel like that might bulk up the amount of liquid inside. I mean, let's give it a try. Now that I've been spoiled by how overfull the armadillo vial was, I kind of want a full vial. Plug this whole thing in, shall we? Well, I hate to say it, folks, but I have a feeling like that didn't actually work. I have a feeling like now all the fibers have absorbed the resin. We actually end up with even less resin than there was in there when I said, oh, let's just plug the rest of it in. So essentially, don't do that. Don't do what I just did. It's not going to work out well for you. But it looks disgusting. It looks like something that would kill something, human or otherwise. So let's just try to move some stuff around here. Yeah, what ended up happening was the fiber material absorbed all of the resin. So now it's just sitting in a huge hairball in the middle of this vial, sucking up all of the resin that we poured in. So now there's even less. It even looks like there's less in there than there was when we started. Live and learn. Live and learn. All right, so you know what? This is actually really bothering me. So we're just going to put some clear resin in here to make up the lack of resin. So we've just put some clear resin. I've added clear resin until it fills right up to the bottom of the neck. And I'm going to agitate it. Just a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit. Now this is completely full up. It's got all the little sharp jobbies. It's got all of the thread in it. It's got all of the resin and then a little clear resin on top of that just to fill up the canister. So how about we cure that and we'll take a look and see what it looks like afterwards. All right, so tap test is done, and this is what we got. It's not great. It's really not great at all. You can see that there's a weird opaque brushed glass look now to the vessel. It's entirely possible that there was some small amount of resin on my fingers as I was touching the bottle, and so now that's cured to it. The only part that seems completely free of it is the Hogwarts crest. I don't know exactly what is going on. So, yeah. Let's put the label on it, and then we'll call it done. All right, so we've got our label and cord fiber color. Once again, we have a piece of cord thread and a little gum label to stick on. So I don't know how they want you to do this, but let's just do that like that because I don't need the cardboard backing to remind me that I made this set. Alright, so an inordinately long amount of time later, here you have it. Flesh-Eating Slug Repellent. Okay, I'll just come out and say it. I'm extraordinarily disappointed with this set. There's just a confluence of errors that came up that made this the most disappointing of all the potions we've done so far. And yes, I do take credit that user error is definitely at play here, but come on, man. It's as bad as the potions that came with the classroom. The picture on the instructions, the stock picture, has this just as an acid green bottle of liquid with a couple of the little free-floating seed pods and leaves in it. But absolutely none of that is correct for what we've made here. Yes, the resin was acid green when we started, but it is now dominated by the dark green look of the saturated fibers. that we shoved into this bottle. I really do not like the thread as an element. I think that if the thread had not been present, if it was little plastic vines or these little pieces in a much smaller quantity that we used in the initial Potions Classroom sets, that would have worked a lot better. This is still fiber, but it's not so much. I feel like with this set, they gave you a huge container of fiber, and you said to yourself, oh, well, I guess I'm just going to use a little bit, but it's impossible to just use a little bit. You kind of had to use it all. Adding on to that, the fact that there really just wasn't enough resin. And then you're saying, oh, well, I'll just add more, just like I did. And all that did was just suck up even more. I don't think that the clear resin that I added does anything good or bad to this set. I just think that this set was ill-conceived from the get-go. If you want us to end up with a lime green set, just don't have an additive that's going to add even more strange coloration in the bottle. If they had given us a few strands like they did in the original Potions Classroom, then we could have threaded those through like the Polyjuice potion and it would have looked wavy through the potion. Instead, you just end up with a mixed up glob of essentially leaves clogging a storm drain. That's all I could think of when I was trying to shove it into this vessel. It's not a success for me. A rather spectacular failure. I feel like they gave you so much to put in. Your thinking was, let's put all of it in. And that's a terrible mistake. I feel like if I could have separated a couple of those strands, just put a few strands in, just for texture, like I thought it was going to come out, then we wouldn't have lost the chartreuse color that the stock photo makes this potion seem it's going to end up as. And instead, we have evergreen leaf color, really, really dark. It's filled with air bubbles, but I actually think that that's actually not a bad effect, because it does kind of look like a weird terrarium we've made. I blame myself for this weird dusky brushed glass look now, the matte that the vial has become since we've cured. I could have just cleaned my hands better, I guess. It may be resin that I had rubbed all over the bottle as I was trying to wrestle the thread into it, or it just could simply be an odd artifacting of the curing process. I don't know. I'm not going to blame Miniverse for that, but I do blame Miniverse for their choice of ingredients for this set. So yeah, this was a definite miss for me. I don't like it. I think I could think of at least 3 different ways that we could have made this set come out the way that the stock photo looks in terms of coloration and in terms of distribution of ingredients suspended in the resin, but that's just simply not what the instructions called for that Miniverse provided. So essentially, they've given you a potion that has no lore. It doesn't end up looking anything like the stock photo, and I'm just disappointed. It's just a disappointment. I mean, I did not go in here thinking this was going to be the greatest potion I was going to make, but even my low expectations were dashed by just how low this set went. Do you think that this is user error? Have you made this? Do you feel like I've made mistakes? What were those mistakes? Tell me what you did. If you made this, tell me how you made this potion to make it look like the stock photo. If I ever find another one of these sets, by sheer happenstance, I would try to make it so that it looks like the stock photo. I would use all of the resin, not use as many of the fibers, not use as many of the seed pods. This was just a mess. My disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. Do you enjoy this content? If you did enjoy this content and you're interested in seeing more of it, please Consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to this channel so you'll know when the next video comes out. I'll be continuing the Harry Potter Miniverse Potions set, going through all the ones that I have, and hopefully the next one will be a little bit more successful than this one. Thank you very much for taking the time out to join me today, making this colossal mistake. Your support means a lot to this channel. Thank you very much. I've been Phantom. This has been The Shelves Have Eyes. Have a good night, y'all.